So a couple of days ago I released a video where I simulated 100 years on Football Manager 2019, and there were some bizarre things. Barnsley ended up dominating English football, they even won the Champions League a few times, but the most bizarre thing was spotted by one of you guys. @1QPR tweeted me saying that he had spotted on the FA Cup records that a player, the oldest player to ever take part in the FA Cup, was 89 years old. So I took a closer look at the player on my save file, and it's just brilliant. It really is. I did a few tweets, but this chap deserves a video dedicated to himself because it's such an incredible journey, and it's pretty funny as well, to be honest. Let me introduce to you then Victor Awakwi, an Englishman who is a QPR legend. He's been loyal to his club for many years, and you'll look at this and think, oh, he's only 39 years old, born in 2080. We're in the year 2119. But that is not the full story, let me say. I mean, 39 is quite old in itself for a central midfielder, of course. And look at his attributes. Mentally brilliant, apart from bravery and work rate. Technically and physically awful. 1 on acceleration, 1 on pace, and he likes to knock the ball past opponent. You know, he's just going to be bundling past people on his Zimmer frame, knocking the ball in front of him, trying to get past them with his 1 acceleration and 1 pace. It just must be hilarious to watch, really. But the full story, like I said, is not this. He's not 39 years old. Because if we look at his career stats, this is just brilliant. I absolutely love this. People have loved it on Twitter as well, so I just had to do a video. Look at this. You know, he's played some games recently, but he started his career in 2033-34. Now, I'll get into details as to why he's only 39 at the moment in a second, but let's just concentrate on the fact he started in 2033-34 season for QPR. They were in the Championship at the time. They fluctuated a bit between the Championship and League One. He played quite a few games for them early on in his career. I've got all the save files as well, so I'm going to look at a few milestones in his career in a bit. But look, then there was this massive period, decades, without playing. And suddenly he came out of retirement to play in the 2105/6 season. 1 league sub-appearance. He obviously was playing for the under-23s as well. I don't know if he was playing for the under-23s. No, he was. Oh, he has occasionally. Like, he randomly appeared in the under-23s. I presume this is what it is, the non-competitive games. Which is just magnificent. But yeah, by this point, QPR were in the National League. And then in the National League South, and then below the National League South when he fully came out of retirement and played 34 league games this year. So they were below, they were like in year tier 7, tier 8 or something like that. Look at his average ratings. It's hilarious. So you're probably wondering, how old actually is this guy? Maybe the video thumbnail is giving it away. But yes, he is 101 years old. I'm going to show you him at the start of his career. So this is our friend Victor at the start of his career as a young 16-year-old. He, at this point, was Nigerian. I presume he was born in Nigeria. Let's have a look. He was born in Nigeria, but he's eligible for Nigeria and England. And of course, he went on to represent England at under-21 level. You may have noticed that previously. So here he is, a bit of a long shot merchant. He's got some pace and acceleration at this age as well. However, this is proof that he is 101 years old in 2119, because look, he was born in 2018. Now it resets itself later on, so I've got a save file where he is 99 years old, and then the year after it kind of resets itself. So I'll show you that in a little bit. But yes, this is him at the age of 16, earning £110 a week, and he's worth £54,000. Now he's just a normal regen at this point. There's nothing untoward, nothing wrong with him. I'm actually going to add a manager and see what his potential is. I'm just curious. So let's just add myself as the QPR manager. I don't know where they are at this point. They are in the Championship still. By the way, if you haven't watched my 100 years in the future video, go and check it out because there is some amazing stuff other than this. I didn't spot this for that video, but this is the best thing about it by a long way. Oh, he's actually got some good potential. 4-star, possibly 5-star potential. He could become a really good central midfielder. And of course he did go on to win some under-21 England caps as well. So let's have a look at him in a few years' time to see what has happened to young Victor. So he's now kind of in his prime. He's 24 years old and he's had a good few years with QPR. He's earned 4 under-21 caps for England. He hasn't been capped by England, even though it says he did in 2000. Well, let's investigate. It says he was capped in 2035 by England, but I think there's been a weird bug many bugs have occurred to this player, but I believe that was his under 20 cap for Nigeria that it's counted. I don't know if we'll actually be able to see. I mean, they didn't even play Libya in 2035. So it's not that. There's been some sort of weird bug thing, because if you look at his information, he's got one under 20 cap for Nigeria, and I presume it was against Libya, and then 4 under 21 caps for England. But he looks like a decent player, still a long shot merchant. He's got very good physicals, mentally strong as well. But his contract has changed somewhat. Now, this is the main reason why this weird bug has happened. Apparently, he is joining Los Angeles Football Club in the year 1900. Something very bizarre has happened. Somehow he's going to join a club in the past. And that has left him in limbo. And it's prevented him from ever retiring. Basically, it's stopped him from retiring from football, because he believes he's going to be joining Los Angeles in the year 1900. It's kind of reset. He's going to have to wait for time to reset itself in a way. It's just really weird. But you can see he's had a decent few years with QPR. But after this point, he just stops playing, according to the thing we saw at the start. So I'm going to check a few years ahead to see if he does just stop playing after this point. I don't understand why he would stop playing at the age of 24. That's just a bit weird, but we shall investigate further. So here is Victor at the ripe old age of 44 in the year 2062. He's now worth only £1, but he's earning a lot more. He's earning £9,500 a week. Now the reason for that, and this is going to spiral out of control, he's on a rolling month-to-month contract, which they're just for whatever reason QPR aren't ending this month-to-month contract, even though they could technically. But it might be because he's meant to be joining Los Angeles in the year 1900. Anyway, he's got this 5% yearly wage rise, so of course it's increased since we last saw it, because he's been on this contract for a while, I presume, since 2036 in fact, and that's around about. I mean, that's ages ago, and that's like 2 years after he started playing. But as you can see, he's not played since 2042 in the league. He did play in the Cup the year after, as you can see, and the year after that, but he's just not been playing any league games. I don't know if he's not been registered, but remember, this is when he was in his prime. He only played cup games, and non-competitive games. Maybe they just couldn't. Maybe something strange happened and they couldn't register him for the league. I don't know, but it's just. In fact, do they have to register players for the Championship in football league? Is it just the Premier League? I can't even remember the rules. But yeah, every year after that until now, he's been playing under 23 football, even though he's 44 years old now. He played under 23 football here. He got 4 assists. He's not really scored many goals. In fact, when did he last score a goal? He scored a goal in 2054/55 season for the under-23s. But his attributes, by this point, acceleration and pace of 1, but he's still got some technical attributes there. Mentally, he's going to improve throughout his career, I suppose, apart from bravery and work rate go down as he gets older and his knees start to creak and he worries about his joints and needing hip replacements, I think. So it's just fantastic. But QPR are having a torrid time, aren't they? They're moving between the Championship and League One, but where does it really go wrong for them? It is much later, and the reason for that, I think, is probably going to be this contract with the 5% increase every year. You may have noticed how much money was on when I showed him at the start of this video. It's ridiculous. So we've jumped forward to the year 2100, the turn of the century. He's 82 years old. He's now earning £61,000 a week because of this ridiculous contract that QPR have in place. He's still waiting to move to Los Angeles because it's not the year 1900 yet. In fact, we're like 200 years after that date. It's just weird. It's such a funny bug. But he is bankrupting QPR, I think. Now, I'm going to take control of QPR to see what their financial situation is. But as you can see, at the moment, they are in the National League South. They managed to finish 4th this year, despite paying £61,000 a week to a player. Has he started playing for them yet? No, he still hasn't started playing for them. He starts to play for them a bit later on, you'll see. So, all these years, he's still at the club, still earning tons of money. He's got grandchildren, but possibly great-grandchildren by now, and he's paying for their school. paying for everything he ever wanted. He's earned millions of pounds by not doing anything apart from playing the odd under-23 game recently. In fact, he's still playing under-23 football, and he's this old. It's just incredible. It really is. His attributes, mentally great. And I think that's probably why he starts to play for the first team again, because his mental attributes get so good, he's actually good enough for this level. That's maybe not the case, but QPR might think he's good enough for this level because of his mental attributes. So I've put myself as manager of QPR again. Let's have a look at the financial situation of the club. So they're only £254,000 in debt. But in recent years, they did have money. Like, I don't know if there's been some sort of owner keeping them afloat, but look at this. It's almost like every now and then the owner has to give them a ton of money to try and keep them afloat. Because it's strange. By the way, I'll put the save file for the last save file in the link below, and you can have a look around yourself at this sort of thing. But yeah, it's the wage budget is £41,000 a week, which I think is quite a lot for the National League South. But of course, they're spending 60 grand over that because of our friend Victor. It's just fantastic. Who owns the club? I mean, let's have a quick look. The chairman is Ted Williams, so he's the owner, I presume. Look at the history. I mean, they're in the Championship about 20 years ago and almost promoted again to the Championship. But since then, they've been in a horrible situation. I don't know if Victor's on the list of legends. Is he on the list of legends? He's not, even though he's been here so long. But I suppose he hasn't played recently. He should be a club legend, even if he's bankrupt in QPR. Look, he's been incredibly loyal to this club. Insecure finances, no surprise there. So let's look at Victor. What is his star rating and stuff? He's probably in the under-23s, isn't he? There he is. What's this say? He does not train. Is that because of his age? He's so old that he just doesn't train. Apparently it's an aggravated injury, or a recurring injury that'd be aggravated. But I think it's just his age, to be honest. That is just fantastic. And it still says his transfer is arranged. He's been transfer listed. Why can't they just release him? Why wouldn't... It's a rolling contract. Don't they have to... Or is it because he's on a rolling contract they'd have to pay 1 month's compensation or something? And by this point, it's so much money they just can't afford to. They've let it spiral out of control. I don't know. I might be wrong there. Maybe someone can let me know. But he's half a star. I'm surprised he's even half a star ability, to be honest. It's probably just because of these mentals, which are very impressive. So this is the year before his age resets, because he basically can't be over 99 years old on Football Manager, it seems. When you reach 99, it just doesn't like it anymore. You break the game. I've broken Football Manager 2019. So 99 years old in the year 2117, which is why he's 101, 100 years into the future on this save. I could holiday further. I imagine he'll just live forever. It'll just keep going. If I had a supercomputer, then I'd continue to holiday, but it doesn't seem to... The file size for this is massive for a Football Manager file size anyway. It's 400 meg, which is big for Football Manager save. So I don't know. I could... If anyone wants to holiday into the future and track Victor's career, then let me know. You can send me the save file from 2200 if you want, and I can do a video on that. Here he is, 99 years old. He's still got 10 on free kicks and 10 on marking. Everything else is dreadful. Physically good, natural fit. 99 years old. He was born with that natural fitness. He's going to die with that natural... I don't think he is going to die with that natural fitness. I think he's immortal. Jumping reach of 10 and he's 99. How is he doing that? How is that even possible? I don't know, but impressive. Now, this is when he's got bravery and work rate of 1. But everything else is 17 decisions, 16 anticipation. So he started to play once again for QPR to help them out in his old age. He was thinking, I want to help save this club. And his first league game was actually in the year 2105/06. 1 sub appearance coming off the bench. He got a 6.3, still playing for the under-23s, as you can see there, the non-competitive football. Following year, he didn't play. The year after that, he played 1 sub appearance once again, and 2 sub appearances in the Cup, with an average rating of 7.1. How amazing is that? Then 1 league game the following year, a rating of 3. He actually started the game, but a rating of 3 isn't the best. So this was in the year they obviously got promoted back to the National League South, where he played under 23 football for 2 years in a row, relegated back to level 7 of football, English football, 13 league games with a 5.08 average rating. He did pick up a red card, unfortunately, as well. The year after, what is he doing? 34 league games, 5.12 average rating. He scored a goal. How old would he have been? Like 94 or something. At the age of 94, he scored a goal. I know it's like either level 7 or 8 of English football, but still, that is impressive. Picked up 2 red cards as well, by the way. Following year, it just, I don't know, maybe he had to go to hospital to have a hip replacement or something, because non-existent. One sub appearance for the under-23s with his new hip. Then the year after that, 2 league starts, 4.9 average rating. Year after that, 4 league starts, 5.05 average rating. And then this season, he played. We can't actually see it because we don't have below that level of football. I mean, that is amazing. Where's his... Did he get a testimonial? He deserves a testimonial. He must have got a testimonial at some point, actually. Like, would it have been like... This is ridiculous. 20 seasons in? 2054 season, maybe? Or was it 10 years service? It's usually 10 years service, isn't it? So perhaps he had a testimonial in 2044, even though he wouldn't have played enough games. But 10 years service? Come on. It's going to take forever to look through all this. He may have had a... We'll pretend he had a testimonial, shall we? He's actually in the first team again now, because of the 4.7. Look at that. Oh dear. But what a legend. We'll just go ahead to the end then, 100 years into the future. So here he is. Of course, his age and his birthday have reset because we broke the game after the age of 99. He's had his birthday changed to 2080. And now he's 39 years old. He still looks good for his age. 101 years old. Obviously uses a lot of moisturiser. I think some of his mental attributes might actually have improved slightly as well. I think his anticipation's gone up from 16 to 17, hasn't it? Amazing stuff. He's got staff attributes. He's a good head of youth development. At the age of 101, he's a good head of youth development. Well, not amazing. He's only got 7 on working with youngsters, 1 on potential ability, 2 on potential ability, 1 on current ability. But you know, he can be a head of youth development. I think he'd be a decent attacking coach there. In fact, look at this. Let's have a. If he is a manager, he'd tend not to use substitutes. Brave man. It's because he's old school, isn't he? Even if he was born in 2018, which is crazy, really. It's the start of this year in real life. Coaching, scouting. He can't be medical. You know, I don't really fancy a 101-year-old medical person looking after me, I'll be honest. But I don't want to be ageist. That sounds a bit ageist, doesn't it? He's looking forward to moving clubs. He's been looking forward to it for 100 years almost. Well, 80 years. Oh, it's just so funny. He's only got half a star reputation. He should be world famous. He's the oldest footballer ever. That's the title of this video. Oldest footballer ever. So this is when it happened. So they're going to buy him for £7.5 million in 1900. It was meant to be 2037. And I presume it was meant to go through in the January or something of 2038. And it just went wrong. But he's at some point... And we won't actually. I mean, if we could somehow reset time, he would move for £7.5 million. And look, his contract, £155,000 a week now because of this 5% yearly wage rise. And that's just going to keep going up and up because now it's 5% of 155k, isn't it? And then after that, it would just... How much will it be eventually? It won't be long until it's like £1 million a week, will it? If it's allowed on the game, I don't know. But that is just... He can play as a striker, by the way. He's an accomplished striker at the age of 101. He's been trained up to play as a striker. Well, let's just look at his career milestones. Relegated a lot, as you can see. He's won the championship a few times. In fact, we can look at his competitions here, can't we? He's won the championship and League One. This is wrong. He didn't make his international. He never played a full cap for England. See, this is when he broke the record. Broke the record in the FA Cup. 89 years and 242 days old. That is amazing. Let's look at this record then. Here it is. Oldest player, Victor Iwakwe. 89 years old. In fact, if we look at the National League South, surely the records would be here as well. Oldest player, there he is. 89. In the year 2107. So he's obviously older now. He's 12 years older, but he's not played in the National League South since then. That is fantastic. I wonder if he's on the National League... Surely he's in the National League Prem, although he wasn't playing then, was he? So I guess it won't show. Oldest player. No. But maybe... will it show like the championship or something? No, I guess it won't, because he was younger then. This is just the best thing I've ever seen on Football Manager. It really is. I absolutely love it. But thank you for watching this video. I think we'll end it there. That is the curious case of Victor Owakwe. I hope you enjoyed it. If anyone does want to holiday into the future, download the save file in the description below, stick it on Football Manager 2019 and just holiday as far as you can go. Your computer might burn up, I do warn you. It is a large file, and unless you've got a really fast computer. If you have a really fast computer, then you can do that. And if you do, then let me know how he gets on. Maybe send me the save file and I can do a second video on this guy. I am going to be releasing a part 2 to my 100 years into the future, just looking at a few things that people requested. So check that out when that's released. But until next time, enjoy Football Manager 2019. Enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you very soon. Goodbye, Victor. What a legend.